the Vice Chancellor and Chairman of the 2024 Registry Workshop, Professor Adenike Temidayo Oladiji, FAS, the Bossa of the University, Mr. Julius Adefola Adeshoba, the University Librarian, Dr. Robert Akinade Awoyemi, former Vice Chancellors, in particular, the former Vice Chancellor of Redeemer University, Professor Debo Adeyewa, former registrars in the House, the first administrative officer of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, former director, former registrar of Bafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and our home father in administration, Mr. Ayorinde Olurinde Ogunruku, the former director, FUTA, and former registrar, FUNAB, Dr. Matthew Odunlade Ayola, the fourth substantive registrar of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, my own sister, Dr. Modupe Olayinka Ajayi, the former director and acting registrar, FUTA, our own daddy, Mr. William Atoye, the immediate past registrar, Federal University of Technology, Akure, Mr. Richard Adeyinka Rifalo, the pioneer registrar, Federal Polytechnic Ile-Oluji, and director in FUTA, Mr. Feyi Adetula. The former Bossa of Olusegun Agagu University, Mr. Kende Oladeji. Permit me to break protocol. I recognize the presence of the DVCs. So the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academy, Professor Taiwo Timothy Amos, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Development, Professor Sunday Samuel Oluyamo, the serving registrars here present, the Registrar, Federal University, Oye Ekiti, Mr. Mufutau A. Ibrahim, the Registrar, University of Benin, Benin City, Edo State, Mr. Ademola A. Bobola. Our resource person, Professor Beatrice O. Ajidan of Adekunle Ajashin University, Akungba Akoko. Dr. Anthony O. Ewere, Acting Director, Legal Services, University of Benin. All other resource persons here present. The deans of our great university, heads of departments and units, the Registrar St. Mary's University, Akungba Akoko, my own brother, Mr. David Sunday Daramola, distinguished guests, distinguished colleagues from other institutions, chairman and members of the RALOC, fellow professional administrators, staff, students, and invited guests, distinguished guests, and friends of the university, great Futarians, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am greatly delighted to welcome you all to this auspicious occasion of the 2024 Registry Workshop of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, the best university of technology and one of the leading universities in Nigeria. I am most grateful to God for making this day a reality, and especially the opportunity given me to preside over the first Registry Workshop since my assumption of duty about a year ago as the Registrar of this great university. Let me also welcome in particular to FUTA and to FUTA Registry, a pacesetter and a leading light in the culture of university registries in Nigeria. Over the years, FUTA Registry has become a household name when it comes to university administration in Nigeria. I am talking about a registry that has produced more registrars for other universities than any of its peers in the current dispensation in Nigeria. I am proud to talk about a registry that is credited with a number of firsts in the history of the registry of Nigerian universities, especially as the pioneer of the registry annual lecture, which today has become an important meeting point for advancement in university administration. As we are all aware, the university registry is the hub of university administration. And this hub comprises of personnel of varying professional inclinations which work together to keep the hub functional and responsive to its roles in the university system. For this hub to perform optimally in facilitating the system, it has to be oiled regularly. Hence, the need for this workshop, which is geared towards intimating the university registry staff with the realities of the current digital dispensation and preparing them to function effectively in a digital environment as encapsulated by the theme of the workshop, optimizing digital tools for improved productivity and efficiency in higher education institutions. Indeed, the world that we are in today has gone digital, and the university system cannot be left out. You all will agree with me, therefore, that the topic for this workshop could not have come at a better time than now. There is a common saying, if you are not moving forward, you are falling behind. We, as registry staff in the university system, cannot afford to fold our arms and allow digitization to sweep us off. The objectives of the workshop, as contained in the flyer, already said it all, which include, among others, to create an avenue for higher education administrators to understand the role of digital technologies in HEI administration, to bring to the fore best practices in higher education institution administration in a digital environment. To achieve the above objectives, several related topics of interest have been put together with seasoned administrators as resource persons. Some of the topics are: 1, emerging trends in higher education administration; 2, registry in the AI age; 3, building a digital culture of institutional record keeping and document protection and access; 4, ensure integrity of document in a tech-savvy ecosystem, administrative and legal perspective, etc. And of course, one of the topics today also focuses on our health. As the saying goes, health is wealth. I can assure you that with the complement of topics and resource persons available for this workshop, you are in for a memorable and refreshing experience that will give you a leap in your job as a registry staff. I therefore enjoin all participants to fasten their bets for a pleasurable and profitable ride through the world of digital administration. By the grace of God, this workshop will clamor with the FUTA 13th Registry Annual Lecture tomorrow with the topic, Leveraging on Artificial Intelligence for Enhanced Performance in Higher Education Institutions. And this will be delivered by a distinguished IT expert, Mr. Joel Ogunshola, the Chief Executive Officer, Prudence, who incidentally is an alumnus of this great university. The entire program will be rounded off with a get-together. I am sure you will not want to miss that. All work, no play, they say makes Jack a dull boy. The planning committee has therefore thought it wise to create a time for relaxation and get together. It will also be another avenue for cross-fertilization of ideas, blending, networking, and establishing of friendship. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to use this opportunity to appreciate the chairman of this occasion. On behalf of the entire registry staff, I want to sincerely thank and appreciate my amiable Vice Chancellor, Professor Adenike Temidayo Oladije, the first female Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, a woman of virtue, an epitome of humility. Ma, I thank you for your continuous support, and particularly to make this occasion a reality. It is an honor for us to have you at this time as our leader and role model. I pray that the God Almighty will continue to grant you the grace and enablement to record giant strides throughout your tenure. I also therefore use this medium to express my profound gratitude to all the university management for their support. I thank the local organizing committee of this program for a job well done. I also wish to appreciate the wonderful staff of FUTA Registry for their commitment, their dedication, and support. To all our guests, I say a very big thank you for coming to be part of this 2024 FUTA Registry Workshop. Once again, I welcome you all to this all-important occasion. I wish you a pleasant moment and a memorable stay on FUTA campus. Please feel free to move around to enjoy the ambience of the best university of technology in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Can we double the applause? When The registrar was at it. Some of the leaders of our university also joined us. I'd like to introduce the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic, Professor Taiwo Timothy Amos. A round of applause for him. The Deputy Vice Chancellor, Development, Professor Sunday Samuel Oluyamo. You are also welcome. Of course, the registrar has also introduced that, but I have to also introduce one of the leaders of our university who served meritoriously as our registrar, Dr. Modupe Olayinka Ajayi. We welcome you, ma. Let me, before inviting Madam Vice Chancellor, also introduce to us some of the leaders of the registry who are here this morning. Mr. Olubunmi Adebayo is the lead at the exams and records. Stand up for recognition, sir. Mr. Olusegun Akinyemi, we exported him, but he's now back home. Where is he? A round of, can you stand up for recognition? Mr. Bayonle Akinduyile is a deputy registrar, is up and about, is at the back, is waving. Mr. Mayowa Adu is also a member of the LOC, one of the leaders of the registry. The man, I don't know how he feels. Even the Vice Chancellor calls him my boss. Mr. Adefa Fila, who heads the registry of the Vice Chancellor office in a way. Mrs. Florence Adetunji is also here. We welcome you. Dr. Owele of the Student Affairs Division, you are welcome. Mrs. Oluwatoyin Femi Awofade, you're welcome. Mr. Fola Oladoshu, we welcome you. Mr. Tunde Adeoye, you are welcome. The Dane School of Agriculture and Agricultural Technology, an erudite professor, Professor Oluwatoyin Oludaunsi, has also joined us. The director of the distance learning program of our university is also here, Professor Sam Alao. We welcome you, sir. We'll take other recognitions, but I'm told that chief confidential secretaries who are also leaders of their own respective field are also here. Mrs. C.B. Oladeji, we welcome you. Mr. Ogunleye, we welcome you. Mrs. G. Moyijesu, we welcome you. Okay, let me just say, former regent, Mrs. Princess T.O. Orogun, you are welcome. Kabiyesi, we welcome you, ma. Mrs. Omolayo Israel, you are welcome. And Mrs. Ruth Imoru, we welcome you. At this point, it is my singular honor to invite the cerebral head of our institution, the leader of our academic community, a trailblazer, if you may, the first female vice chancellor of our great institution, to address this august gathering.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. This is one hard assignment. I don't know how to do protocol today, but I will try. The Deputy Vice Chancellors, the Registrar and host of today's event, Mr. Charles Olusegun Adeleye, the University Librarian, the University Bursar, other principal officers, registrars of higher education here present. We have former Vice Chancellor also, our own Professor Adeyewa. We have former registrars. We have those from FUTA, our own Dr. Arifalo, Dr. Mrs. Ajayi, exported registrars, Mr. Ogunruku, Mr. Ayola, Mr. Toye, Mr. Adetula, too many persons. Please, let me just hold it here so that I will not misjive. Deans and directors here present, participants from other institutions, esteemed resource persons, heads of units of registry, and I particularly recognize my boss, Mr. Adefafila, members of staff of registry, visitors and participants in the workshop, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome members of registry from various higher education institutions to the best University of Technology in Nigeria, the Federal University of Technology, Akure. Our people say if you don't blow your trumpet, who will help you to blow it? We are truly the best University of Technology in Nigeria, and we will remain. I am delighted at the purpose of this gathering, a workshop with the theme, Optimizing Digital Tools for Improved Productivity and Efficiency in Higher Education Institutions. The theme clearly indicates the willingness and readiness of the registry to play an active role in the operations of our higher education institutions and do so very effectively. This is quite commendable. We are in a system that is in a perpetual state of flux, and so no member of the university system can afford to be stagnant. The English philosopher John Henry Newman said, "To live is to change, and to be perfect is to have changed often." The 21st century is marked most significantly by the influence of information and communication technology. As if fate wanted us to embrace ICT willy-nilly, there was the global COVID-19 lockdown in 2020, and everyone had to embrace non-physical approach to various engagements, banking, teaching, and so on. Apart from the benefit of speedy delivery, cost is also reduced substantially, and errors arising from human interference is also minimized, if not outrightly eliminated. Let's imagine the space that we would have needed to keep our records if we were still holed up in the days of physical filing. Imagine someone having to climb a ladder to bring down the file of a student that graduated 5 years ago in order to prepare the academic transcripts. God forbid that the ladder should break or slip. The advantages of the digital era are too massive to think of going back to the days of cyclostyling and carbon papers. The registry and the registrar, extension, is the face of the university to the public. About 4 days ago, I read an article in the paper, and they gave the list of 4 universities that process transcripts very quickly. And on the list, we have University of Ilorin, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Covenant University, and FUT Minna. I was sad when I didn't see the name of FUTA among the first 4. But I was also glad when I looked at the name of the last 4, and FUTA was not there either. I said, at least it shows that we are not among the list 4 universities. I don't want to read out the names of the last 4 because I'm sure some of the participants are here from those universities, so it will not be very good if I mention the names. But you can please Google it. It's on the internet. So you can Google it, and then you will know your stand as a university. You will know if you are part of the people that are the list. I appeal to you to ensure that the lessons learned during this workshop and during the registry lecture are applied for a better registry and by extension, better FUTA. And if we say a better FUTA, we mean a better Nigeria. I salute the focus and commitment of FUTA Registry under the leadership of Mr. Charles Olusegun Adeleye and the registries of sister higher education institutions who have brought into our vision of having a system where every member of staff is well aligned with modern office practices. I thank you for your contributions to ensuring that things are moving within the university. But I want to use this opportunity to also appeal to us that we are in a system that is changing every day. Needs are increasing. Demands are increasing. We have to meet up with the challenges. I listened carefully to the registrar's lecture, to the registrar's address, and he did mention that there will be a series of topics to be addressed. And after the whole thing, there is going to be a get-together. Let me say at this juncture that the registrar did not invite the principal officers to the get-together, but we shall be there because he said all works are no play. It's not good. So we will also come and play at the event. On behalf of the management of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, I welcome you warmly to this workshop and wish you a most rewarding time. On this note, I declare the workshop open to the glory of God Almighty and the benefit of mankind. Thank you for your attention and thank you for your time.
Can we double that applause for Madam Vice Chancellor? When she came, FUTA was about number 7th. Now, on the ranking of Nigerian universities, FUTA is number 4. When she came, when there was a competition among Nigerian universities by TETFON on research, we came 2nd. This year, FUTA is number 1. When she came among federal universities, FUTA was number 4. Now, FUTA is number 2. I can go on and on, but later in the day, you'll get a publication telling you about the story of our university and our wonderful Vice Chancellor. It's just about 2 years in the saddle. So imagine 3 years from now. A round of applause for Madam Vice Chancellor. I'd like to make welcome one of the leaders of this university, an expert who is still serving meritoriously in his place of national assignment. Let's give it up, and with a rapturous applause for Mr. Ademola Bobola, the Registrar, University of Benin. Where are you, sir? I'm told you are, okay, take a bow. Well, he's an ambassador in whom we are well pleased. Another round of applause for him. So that the delegates from University of Benin will know that they will just have him for a short time. Please, after his service, don't keep him. He's coming back home. You will keep him? Okay, we'll talk about that later. Let me also appreciate the presence of Professor Folashade Olajuwigbe, a Fulbright Award winner who is currently Director, Central Research Lab. We welcome you, madam. I welcome the Chief Development Officer of our university, Mr. Enoch Ajayi. You're welcome. Deputy Director Protocol, Mr. Tokumbo Olakunle. You are welcome. Should there be any problem, when you see our CSO, you know he's a CSO. Mr. S. Olanitori. A round of applause for him. You know he's a CSO. When you see him, you know that he was well chosen. I like also to welcome Mrs. Akoshile, one of our deputy registrars. At this point, I'd like to bring to the podium Mr. Ayorinde Okuruku, former registrar of Obafemi Awolowo University, for a short goodwill message.
Good morning. Madam Vice Chancellor, the registrar, other principal officers, DVCs, registrars, colleagues, I'm most delighted to join in giving this goodwill message to this year's Registry Annual Lecture Series. I spoke somewhere in Osun State a couple of months ago, telling the history of Registry Annual Lectures in Nigeria, that it started in this place under the auspices of Mrs. E.F. Oyebade as registrar, first female registrar of FUTA of blessed memory. And I remember when that idea came up at the registry meeting. Fortunately, Mr. Toye is here today, and it has become a thing that has gone around and is still going around Nigeria universities. It is good to be a trailblazer, and one is happy to be part of this. We thank you, Registrar, for keeping the flag flying. This year's annual registry lecture or workshop, I'm happy is talking about the issue of digitization of our work. And as I've also had occasion to say somewhere before, administrative officers who will not get adjusted to the issues of the ongoing ICT issues will be fit for the museum in a couple of years. And you know what museums are? They are places for artifacts. And I believe we don't want to join the artifacts, just staying put in a place. So that's why I want to congratulate the FUTA Registry for coming up this year to talk about this issue of digitization of our efforts. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, it's imperative that we harness the power of technology to enhance the academic pursuits of our institutions. And I believe this workshop presents a very unique opportunity for us to come together, share ideas, and explore innovative solutions to optimizing digital tools and enhance our institutional productivity. I heard the Vice Chancellor talking about Ronio. Very many of us don't even know what Ronios are anymore. But I will just tell a story. In the days of Mr. B. Adebayo, when he was chairman, when he was secretary to council and registrar, F&GPC will meet on Wednesday. On tenders board on Wednesday, F&GPC on Thursday, and council on Friday. The minute of F&GPC will get to council, and usually those meetings end late in the night. And you find bagam, the Ronio machine. You put it on stencil, you use the red ink to correct. All of those things have become artifacts. I remember, permission, Madam Vice Chancellor, the story is told of a Nigerian professor, I won't mention university, who went to Australia to give a lecture, participate in a seminar. And he went with slides to go and present the paper. And he got there, was asking for slide projector. And people were surprised. Slide projector at this age, when everybody was bringing out flash drives, just to key to the computer and everything is up, and everybody sees. Ladies and gentlemen, the hours are gone. Even for us as administrators, we need to begin to be careful. No thanks to ChatGPT. Our works are getting to be on the line. We need to be able to adapt these issues to how we can make our works to make us effective and efficient and can never be done without in the system. It is then that our relevance becomes very important. As we strive for excellence in teaching, learning and research, it's crucial that we prioritize productivity and efficiency. And by optimizing digital tools, we can streamline processes, enhance collaboration, and foster a culture of innovation and continuous improvement. This workshop lives as a testament to our commitment to embracing technology and driving positive change in higher educational administration. I therefore want to encourage us to continue to engage actively, ask questions, share experiences as we work together towards a more efficient and productive academic community. Once again, I extend my warmest welcome to all workshop participants, thanking the Vice Chancellor and the admission of the university for allowing this to come and wishing us all well. God bless you in Jesus' name.
Another round of applause. Experience can never be bought in the marketplace. I'd like to make welcome Mr. Olukayode Emmanuel Akindele, who is representing Mr. Ife Oluwole, the Registrar of Ekiti State University. And for your information, other delegates, Mr. Ife Oluwole, the current Registrar of Ekiti State University, is also from FUTA. A round of applause for FUTA. Of course, the Registrar, Sam Mavis University, Mr. David Daramola, we welcome you. He is also one of the products of FUTA. I'd like to quickly bring to the podium Dr. Matthew Ayola for his goodwill message. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to calibrate this program because by 10 we switch to the virtual mode. So please bear with us.
Madam Vice Chancellor, please permit me to stand on the existing protocol for want of time. In the view of Cardinal Newman, to live is to change, and to live long is to have changed many times. Madam Vice Chancellor started it that the era of the past, where we talk of renewal, which I was even discussing here, that time you look for an empty biro, you sign on the stencil, most of the time the stencil will tear. But thank God, we are far, far beyond that. And these days, when you talk of ICT that has made the world a global community, we all know what that is about. And that is why I wanted to commend the local organizing committee for the title of this workshop. It cannot be more apt than now. I just want to say that as much as we feel that change is very, very necessary and which has brought us to where we are, I want to say that we should be mindful of some evils, factors that are normally around, prevalent to prevent such change. I recall Professor Obed of Harvard, in one of the Harvard Business Review journals, presented a paper titled, "Why is it that change programs don't always produce the desired change?" He identified a lot of things. But for the purpose of this goodwill message, I want to say something about the typology of managers that are prevalent in every organization, which to a large extent are factors militating against change. On this note, I want to identify 4 types of managers. 1, the domain defenders. 2, the reluctant reactors. 3, anxious analyzers. And 4, enthusiastic prospectors. As the name denotes, the domain defenders are those that will not want any change, no matter how veritable, how desirable the needed change are. They wanted to defend the status quo at all costs, as the name denotes. And where you have a prevalence of these ones, whatever efforts that are made in respect of change, only God knows. This is followed by the reluctant reactors who, as the name denotes, reluctantly will accept change, and they are not even particularly interested in whatever the change that is coming. We have the anxious analyzers who want to be in the forefront of change without considering the implications on the system. Not whatever change they are thinking of cannot be deeply rooted in the system. And lastly, the enthusiastic professors who goes around to want to champion change without any deep thought. On this note, I want to enjoin our participants to take note of this, and FUTA being a pleasant place, I wish you a pleasant stay and enjoy your stay for the period that you are here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I'd like to recognize the presence of Mr. Biliamin Pukuola, Senior Librarian, representing the Registrar of UNIMED. I'd like also to recognize the presence of some of the leaders of the executive cadre in our university. Mr. V.C. Blackwell is also one of our resource persons. Where are you, sir? Mrs. Abimbola, a member of the LOC, we recognize you. And Mrs. V.A. Adamolekun, we also recognize and welcome you. Let me quickly recognize some of the delegates from our universities across the land before we switch on to the virtual mode. Delegates from Achievers University, where are you? Achievers? They are in. University of Ilesha. Yes, I can see them at the back. Precious Cornerstone University. You are welcome to FUTA. McPherson University. You are also welcome to FUTA. And of course, the powerful delegation from the University of Benin. A round of applause for delegates from the University of Benin. Told that we have a 20-man delegation from the Federal University of Ekiti who should make their way here any moment from now. So on behalf of FUTA, we welcome them, and we also say a big thank you to the Registrar of FUI for this huge support. Is it 10 already? We have about 2 more minutes. This last story before we switch on, so that you don't think that we're all about technology. 2 weeks ago, our student footballers were in Benin. I think they defeated University of Benin, and they won the trophy at the 25th anniversary of Igbinedion University. FUTA footballers. A round of applause for FUTA. Yeah, our virtual keynote address speaker is ready. So we switch on to the virtual mode. Professor Olulafe, who was a professor of engineering here, is now in the US. He will be speaking to us as the first keynote speaker.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Please give me the permission to project from my end. Can you project from your end?
You can project
I'd like
from
to
your
share
end.
my screen, please.
Okay. You can go ahead, Prof.
Okay, thank you. So are you seeing my screen now?
No.
Can you see my screen?
No. Prof, try to share your screen.
Okay. Are you able to display my stuff from your end? I'm not able to.
Okay, don't worry, Prof. We share screen from this end. You can go ahead with your presentation.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity to address this workshop. I had a fantastic time in Futa, very memorable time, and it's really an honor for me to be given this opportunity to speak on optimizing digital tools for improved productivity and efficiency in higher education institutions. What the digital tools in education going to start with those? Normally we know that enhancing learning and experience and administrative processes is extremely important. In the world's rapidly changing technological landscape, it is essential for educational institutions to embrace digital tools to enhance the learning experience and streamline administrative processes. Digital tools play a crucial role in supporting teaching, learning, and administrative processes in higher education. With the integration of digital tools, educators can create interactive and engaging learning experiences for students. For example, video conferencing platforms enable remote learning, allowing students to participate in classes from anywhere in the world. This flexibility not only enhances accessibility, but also encourages collaboration and discussion among students. Administrative tasks. Digital tools can automate administrative tasks, leading to increased efficiency. For instance, learning management systems is a huge one now. We can automate grading, assignment submission, and feedback processes, reducing the time spent on manual administrative tasks. This allows educators to focus more on teaching and providing personalized support to students. Decision making. Digital tools can facilitate data-driven decision making in higher education institutions. Analytics can analyze student performance data, identifying areas where students may be struggling, and enabling educators to provide timely interventions. This targeted approach can lead to improved learning outcomes and student success rates. Communication and collaboration. Digital tools can streamline communication and collaboration among academic staff, non-academic staff, and students. Email, message apps, and online collaboration platforms enable real-time communication and document sharing, eliminating the need for physical meetings and reducing communication barriers. This fosters a collaborative and connected learning environment. Accessibility of educational resources. Digital tools can enhance the accessibility of educational resources for students with disabilities. I know this is an area I know we are not, maybe they pay more attention to that in the developed world, but in our country, we have to be focused on this as things go by. Text-to-speech software, screen readers. Are you hearing me? Are you still projecting the screen?
Yes. Go ahead, Prof.
Okay, all right. So text-to-speech software, screen readers, and captioning tools can make educational content more accessible to students with visual or hearing impairments. By ensuring inclusivity, higher education institutions can create an equitable learning environment for all students. Optimizing digital tools. Optimizing digital tools in higher education institutions can significantly improve productivity and efficiency. By embracing digital tools, educators can enhance the learning experience, automate administrative tasks, make data-driven decisions, improve communication and collaboration, and promote accessibility. As the digital landscape continues to evolve, it is crucial for institutions to adapt and leverage these tools to create a more effective and efficient learning environment. Essential keys to optimizing digital tools. The first one is hardware. You know, you have to have good hardware, and I'll elaborate on this later. Then there are software and processes. Then there is knowledge dissemination. Then I'm going to end up with a very, very important tool, which I think every university should focus on now, and it's artificial intelligence. It's a big deal. It's transforming the world of education, the world of medicine, the world of engineering. It's transforming, even the world of literature. It's transforming them. So I want to spend time on that at the end. So hardware. The hardware, because you're going to have digital tools, there must be ways of accessing them. So you have mobile notebook computers, pads, and smartphones. Smart devices. Then you have desktop computers. Then you have wireless and wired networks. To me, every institution should put a big deal on networks. Because that is it's as if if you have a country, you must have good road networks. So if you have a higher institution, an institution of higher learning, you must have a good communication networks. And so via wireless or wired or both of them are coming together. Every institution should invest heavily in this infrastructure. They should pay as much attention to this as they pay to roads and hostels and accommodations. It should be given a high billing in what they do. Software processes. This includes software and processes for teaching, your learning, your administrative processes. I'm going to go into some details with this as we go on. Like teaching and learning. Online learning platforms. Digital tools provide platforms for delivering online courses, enabling remote learning and flexibility for students. These platforms also include features such as multimedia content, interactive quizzes, and discussion forums. Multimedia resources, digital tools allow the creation and sharing of multimedia resources like videos, presentations, and interactive simulations, enhancing the learning experience and catering to different learning styles. Every university of significance around the world now, they are investing in online learning platforms. It's extremely important. It's not always necessary to bring everybody together on one campus in order to pass knowledge through them. If you can expand the horizon so that people in other countries can benefit from the contents you are brewing in your university, you expand the horizon of the university. So people, institutions like Harvard University, Stanford, Princeton, all the big institutions around the world, they have invested heavily in online learning platforms. And I think it just expands the university. If the university has a population of 20,000, suddenly you can expand to the virtual population of millions because people can access your content. And also it becomes a major revenue earning for the university because every university needs learning. Those virtual students, they pay you fees, the hard currency, which you can use to develop your local infrastructure. So the second one in teaching and learning is collaboration and communications. Tools like video conferencing, instant messaging, and online collaboration platforms facilitate communication and collaboration between students and instructors, promoting interactive and engaging learning experiences. The last one in the teaching and learning section is assessment and feedback. Digital tools offer various assessment options, including online quizzes, assignments, and automated grading systems. They also enable timely feedback to students supporting their learning progress. It's a major task grading tests. Big, especially if the class is big. And if you talk to any lecturer worth their medal, this is one of the most difficult aspects of their responsibility. So if you can create digital tools that can assess and give feedback on students, it's fantastic. You're moving your institution really forward that way. Administrative processes. Administration is a big deal in the university. You are managing thousands and thousands of students, so many aspects of their work. So you need good student information systems. Digital tools provide comprehensive student information systems that enable efficient management of student records, registration, scheduling, and academic progress tracking. Then there's learning management systems, I mentioned that earlier. These systems streamline administrative tasks related to course management, such as content creation, assignment submission, grading, and course evaluation. Having worked in many universities around the world, administrative processes can really weigh a university down. Because there are just too many, you have students with various needs, various departments, and all of that. And you have to be able to manage this efficiently. This is what this workshop is about. So learning management systems, an institution of higher learning must invest in it. Because it's going to make your job a lot easier. Communication and collaboration tools. Digital tools facilitate communication and collaboration among faculty, lecturers, staff, and students, reducing the need for physical meetings and enhancing efficiency in sharing information and resources. Then there's data management and analytics. Tools for data management and analytics help institutions collect, analyze, and interpret data related to student performance, resource utilization, and institutional effectiveness, supporting evidence-based decision-making. Instead of just basing things on your own analog perception of what's going on, you have hard data to measure what is going on in the institution. And it helps you, it makes your life a lot easier. You can stay at home as an administrator and figure out what is going on in the university. So, knowledge dissemination. Of course, digital tools, you have to be able to disseminate knowledge. So you can have one-on-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, many-to-many. I think what makes a higher institution very effective is to have this interplay, a rich way of interplaying You know, a lot of the times we pay more emphasis on physical meetings. But if we can move to a level where we are actually doing things digitally, and we are able to communicate and disseminate knowledge, you know, lecturer to lecturer, student to student, lecturer to student, student to lecturer, that's really the way forward. So digital tools, when you enhance them, they help to be able to disseminate knowledge. Examples, I'm going to give you examples of digital tools for enhancing the learning experience in higher education institutions. Some of these are standard tools now that are available in the open market. I know FUTA, for example, is a very gifted institution. I met some of the best computer science students in the world in FUTA. So a lot of these digital tools, you can create them in-house. You don't need to license them from outside. But I'm trying to give you examples of what is already established and is being used in institutions around the world. Learning management systems. So there are platforms now, there's one called Moodle, Canvas, or Blackboard. They provide a centralized digital hub for course materials, assignments, assessments, and communication. They enable educators to create interactive online courses, deliver multimedia content, facilitate discussions, and track student progress. I think an institution to invest in this. You know, if you don't have one already built, you can license this from outside. Some of them actually, you get them for pennies, for really nothing. Many of these creators want to promote education around the world and the easy functioning of universities. So pay attention to LMS. I think my presentation is going to be available for all of you. Feel free, some of these details, you can see them there. Collaboration and productivity tools. You know, you have tools like Google Workspace, used to be called G Suite. You have Microsoft Office 365. I know you are familiar with this. You have Dropbox. They facilitate document sharing, real-time collaboration, and project management. There's OneDrive and all that. These things are very, very important tools that an institution must invest in. You cannot cut corners with this because it's going to make your life a lot easier and it's going to enrich your ability to perform your tasks. Students and educators can work together on assignments, presentations, and group projects, regardless of their physical location. So it doesn't matter whether they're on campus, they're out of campus. It doesn't even matter whether they're in the country or out of the country. You have a seamless operation of your institution. And so you should invest in this. And when I mean invest, that doesn't mean that you are actually spending money. It's having the information that we're giving you today. You can tap into that and access a lot of these tools. Like I said, they are really available at very low cost or no cost at all. Lecture capture tools. You know, one of the pains I see in a number of universities I've been part of is the ability for students to capture what the lecturer is saying. Many of them have to be writing notes fast, and then we'll be comparing with their colleagues. Oh, you do get what the lecturer said here, and all that. There are lecture capture tools that at the end of the day, you just press the button and all the students have everything you wrote on the board. You know? So there are lecture capture tools like Panopto or Kaltura. They allow educators to record and share lectures online. You know, this enables students to review lectures at their own pace. They don't have to focus. They can listen to you in the lecture room instead of trying to write fast. Because at the end of the day, you'll be able to deliver to them the 100% content, lecture content to them digitally. So it enables students to review lectures at their own pace, revisit complex topics, and catch up on missed classes. I think that these are very powerful tools. They are interactive learning tools. Tools like Kahoot, Quizlet, or Poll. Everywhere engage students through interactive quizzes, polls, and games. You have to make learning very exciting. not a stage thing where it's just a lecturer speaking in the classroom. Make it so exciting. There are games that they will play where they will be able to master the subject materials. So these tools promote active learning, they encourage participation, they provide instant feedback, they make the learning process more enjoyable and effective. Virtual reality and augmented reality technologies. These are technologies that are breaking into the world now. And I think the costs are collapsing, they're very affordable to get. And when you put on some of these virtual reality or augmented reality tools, you won't believe it. I mean, if you are teaching space science, you can immerse the students in space. They will even think they are there. They are visiting all the planets and galaxies and things like that. And if you are teaching them biology, they can go into the biological world and see how cells interact and all that. So these are valuable tools that higher institutions must have. And like I keep emphasizing, they are very affordable now. You know, they are really very, very affordable. They can easily be acquired. And then there are donor agencies that will gladly donate to your institution if you need it, if you know exactly what you are looking for. So VR and AR technologies, they offer immersive learning. I mean, they are beautiful. Immersive learning experiences. Medical students can use VR to simulate surgeries. Instead of actually operating on human beings, they can do this virtually. While history students can explore historical sites through AR, augmented reality applications, they enhance understanding and engagement in complex subjects. Adaptive learning platforms. Adaptive learning platforms like Smart, Sparrow, or Newton personalize the learning experience based on individual student needs. So, you know, normally we have classrooms and you are delivering your subject matter to classrooms. But there are tools that will allow you to go granular to the student level so that they learn at their own pace, you know. And because at the end of the day, the reason you have a higher institution is to be able to train people so that at the end of their years in the university, they have mastered the subject. That's the whole goal. So these platforms use data analytics to identify areas of weakness and provide targeted content and assessment to help students improve. Naturally, what we do is that we grade students. We say, oh, A, B, C, D, or whatever grade you give to them. And that's the way the tool we use to measure students. But there are tools now that can measure them more effectively. And you know exactly how this particular student is, areas where the student is struggling. And you can pinpoint them and give them materials that will help them improve what they do. Video conferencing tools. Of course, we have Zoom, we have Microsoft Teams, we have Google Meet that we're using here now, you know, that allow educators to conduct virtual classes, webinars, and meetings. These tools enable real-time interaction, screen sharing, breakout rooms for group discussions, and recording sessions for future references. Now, I want to go into artificial intelligence. This is a subject I think if you want to bring your institution to the 21st century, you have to be in this world. You have to be. Whether you are a staff, you are a student, you are administrator, these tools are available for you to use and move you to the 21st century. A lot of the things we are struggling with before. You can go in now, once you have your digital tools, you can access good communication, you can access this world and ask information and put things together. You know, these tools are alive, they are accessing terabytes and terabytes of information that have been built through history, you know, and giving you answers that you are spending days and weeks and months trying to get together. So I'm going to spend time on this. Artificial intelligence. AI refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines. That's what they call it, artificial intelligence. It encompasses various techniques, including machine learning, neural networks, and natural language processing. AI systems learn from data, they adapt and perform tasks. I remember almost 30 years ago, I was invited to a conference here in the US to speak on artificial intelligence. I know it has now gained prominence around the world, but this has been on for years. In graduate school, in services for me, we were talking about artificial intelligence in classes, how to do that, to use that. You know, so these tools have been built over the decades, and now suddenly they've emerged and they're available for us. Types of AI include reactive machines. These allow predefined rules and lack memory. Examples include chess-playing programs. Limited memory AI. Systems use past experiences for decision-making, e.g. self-driving cars. It's a type of AI that is the theory of mind AI. They're currently director. This will enable understanding others' beliefs and intentions. So you can imagine as an administrator, being able to decipher what students are thinking. But there are tools that are coming out now to do that. Then a self-aware AI. This is the pinnacle. They are possessing consciousness and emotions. They're yet to be realized, but this is where the world is going. So applications of artificial intelligence, they're being applied in healthcare. They aid in diagnosis and surgery and personalized treatment. They are being applied in business, in automation. They have chatbots and predictive analytics. People who are trading in the world market, they want to know how your business is going to go. But our topic today is education. They are being applied to education. They're adaptive learning platforms. They cater to individual students' needs. Every lecturer in our higher institution should encourage their students to get into AI. You heard about ChatGPT. There are so many, a lot of the browsers now, they have AI integrated with them. They are not, when they first came out, educators were afraid about plagiarism. That you give a student an assignment and they just go to ChatGPT and copy it. No, you should look at AI as digital assistants. They are helping you to get information that will take you weeks and months and years to put together. And so every educational institution should adapt artificial intelligence as tools for teaching, for learning, for administration. They just reduce the things you are spending a lot of money on. You can divert your money to better things and use collective knowledge that have been accumulated over the years. And you are accessing databases instantly to give you results. Query that, play with that. Any subject that you are playing around that you are getting into. There are 10 AI powerful tools for educational institutions. I'll quickly go through this because I know my time is almost up. The 10, while following these AI tools, they can enhance education. They should complement human teachers rather than replace them. Okay? The goal is to create a more efficient and personalized learning environment for students, which is what an educational institution is about. Okay? So I'm going to rush through this very fast. There's what we call Course Hero. You can go into this later. I'm going to rush through this. You have access to my presentation, so you can go through this. I'm just going to go through the top 10 I'm recommending for you. Intelligent tutoring systems. There's virtual assistants. There's data analytics platforms. There's plagiarism checkers, okay? If you want to check whether your students are copying from the internet, there are tools that will help teachers know that, say, no, you didn't write that essay. You just copied this thing online. So they are AI-based, so they check plagiarism. There's language learning apps, they provide personalized exercises, pronunciation feedback. And so if you're teaching Yoruba, you're teaching English or German or Spanish or whatever, or Chinese, there are AI apps that will help that class. and the student can learn on their own. They don't have to do it in the classroom. There's adaptive learning platforms, we're listed there. There's automated grading system. I said grading is a big deal in the universities. It weighs lecturers down. When they look at a pile of scripts, they will have to go through. It just weighs them down. So there are automated grading systems now that you can adapt. And by the way, these things are available online. Some of them cost nothing, really. Or you pay annual subscription, and if an institution does that, and you distribute it for all the students, it's just a few cents per student. So they're not expensive at all. What is more important for you to have knowledge of them, that these are available for use. There's smart content creation. After you've written your essay, or whatever, you can submit it to some of these AI platforms, and they'll have you refine it. They'll check your grammar, check your spelling, and everything, and give you, it's still your creation, but just like you use a spelling checker, this system helps you, they correct your English, they correct the essence of what you are saying, and they give you a much better product. Every institution should have this. There are predictive analytics for student success. There are models that will help as the week is going, the semester is going. It's going to tell a student, you're going to fail this class if you continue like this. It's going to try to make changes in this, pay more attention to this, and all that. So these are those 10 powerful tools I believe every higher institution should have. I'm going to conclude with this. I call it PI. P-I. You can see that I have a big pie, okay? The first is power, uninterruptible electricity supply. I spent my years in focusing on this. If you don't have power, we're wasting our time talking about digital tools. Really, you have to have uninterruptible electricity supply. Because everything revolves around power. You cannot shortchange yourself, or in a world where things are moving on, you're waiting on diesel and gasoline to be in the generator before you have electricity on campus. You must have power, very important. You must have internet, broadband internet access. When I was in Nigeria, I spent a lot of money buying internet access because I know once I have internet access, I have access to the whole world. I have access to knowledge. I have access to communication. So internet is very important. The last one of PI, PIA, is environment, the learning environment. If our learning environment is not conducive to learning, we're wasting our time talking about digital tools. The environment must be fantastic, must be conducive. And I'm going to show you a picture. So there's, like I said, uninterruptible electric supply, there's broadband internet access, and then there's the learning environment. And I'm going to show you some pictures. PRO is that when I was in Futa, I invited a friend of mine from the US, Professor Gunaike. He passed away a couple of years ago. He was one of the prominent Nigerians. So he wrote part of the Nigerian national anthem. He was a chemical engineer. And he was the head of the College of Engineering in the University of Delaware. And when we were there, this Nigerian, championed the construction of a science and engineering laboratory in the University of Delaware. It cost them, the university, about $150 million. It was led by Professor Ogunaike. In Nigeria, Babatunde Ogunaike. Here is a picture of the building, Outside the building, you can see benches there, People can come in, students or staff, or whatever, you can come in, you can bring your lunch there, you can bring your father rice or whatever you are eating, and you can be discussing, having communication. So you have that. Hello. Okay, yeah, I'm wrapping up now. Okay, So here is a learning environment there. You can see students and staff where they're seated and how they can interact with one another in the building. You can see a seat there where a student can sit with the back there and be following his or her lecture and all that. You have an environment where people can exchange ideas and they can learn. I think the learning environment is extremely important. So final word, have digital tools. We have to optimize them. Remember uninterruptible power, internet access, and the learning environment. Thank you very much. That's it.
Prof, we want to extend our deep appreciation for the cerebral delivery and the wonderful content of your lecture. Are we ready with the second keynote? We will now have Dr. Oyi Oluwofeso, Director General, West African Monetary Institute.
Good morning. Thank you very much for the introduction. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Please, can you share the slide from your end? Or you want me to try from my end?
Can you go ahead, sir? We are fixing that. Just go ahead with the main lecture, sir.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Yeah, thank you very much. The outline of my presentation, I don't know, are you showing the slide here? Hello?
You can go ahead, sir. We are working on it.
Oh, okay, interesting. Thank you. The outline of my presentation, I have the appreciation, introduction, optimization of digital tools for performance measurement, and I gave few examples as illustration that can help in higher education institutions. And I look at productivity in higher education institutions and a few challenges. There are a lot of challenges as far as Nigeria is concerned. And I must thank Prof, the first presenter, for the point he highlighted some of those challenges. So I'm going to add a few other challenges. And I have what I call the performance KPI for measuring successes and the concluding remark of the presentation. By way of appreciation, I want to thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, the Deputy Registrars, and the Principal Officers of the University. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I express my sincere gratitude for inviting me to deliver a keynote address at this year's Registry Workshop. It is a true honor and privilege to have this opportunity to share insight and perspective with the esteemed participants. As the topics, what we are really looking at is digital tools, and I must say, without digital tools now, we are going nowhere. The students we train in the university, we should be able to teach students that are tech students, tech lady, tech boys, tech lecturers, tech admin staff. If you are not found in this area, that means something is wrong. Tech vice chancellor. So I must say, if you look at my the figures I have here, I have a lot of information here, and I say with the rapidity of technology advancement progressing at an unprecedented pace, there's practically no human endeavor in today's modern world that does not entail the involvement of digital tools. This involvement can be seen across various sectors, in finance, in transportation, in banking, in military, in manufacturing, in production, healthcare, and education. In fact, without tech, without IT, are going nowhere. There's no field of human endeavor now that don't need tech. The old way of doing things, what I would call the archaic way, the era is gone. So all field of human endeavor, as shown in this figure, need tech. You can see the vehicle there, they're using tech, the brain, the IT, so many areas of tech highlighted in this slide. I hope you are with me.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, very good. I want to be sure that you are sharing this slide. Then let's quickly look at some areas in the, what we call the shift towards the optimization of digital tools for performance measurement. The first thing I want to mention here is enhancing digital analytics for informed decision making. Nowadays, there's what we call big data. And I must say, big data is the oil all over the world now, is the oil. Is what some of my colleagues call the weight. If you don't have this area, you are not good in this area, that means you are not in that client. So you have to be involved in the complexity of data set. And this presentation is saying that the evolution of big data, referring to extremely large and complex data sets that cannot be easily managed, processed, and analyzed with traditional data processing tools. I remember in those days when we are in FUTA, some of us use Excel, some of us use SPSS, some of us use Exploit, some of us use MATLAB to do our analysis. But the era now, it has gone. There are a lot of millions and trillions or billions of data sets that you've got to analyze within a twinkle of an eye. And the ability to store this data, the ability to analyze this data, to search for this information, to share this information, to transfer this information, to query the data set, to filter information out, updating security, privacy, and what we call data sources are very key. And I must say that the importance of big data lies in the potential to provide valuable insight and improve decision-making processes in higher education institutions. This is crucial for business intelligence, gaining a competitive edge based on data-driven insight, understanding customer behavior, optimizing processes, and identifying market trends. You have what we call the volume, and you have the velocity and the variety as far as the big data is concerned. The amount of data generated, as I've said, all over in all fields of human endeavors are enormous. Now we have the online and offline transactions that can be used to access this information. And as Prof. rightly mentioned, some of these are in kilobytes or terabytes now. And you have to save this data and be able to put this data in a very comprehensive way for your customer or other stakeholders to be able to access. And the filing method, these are also key in the area of education. Then the velocity of the data, as I've said, this is key. I'm not going to waste too much time since all of you will have this slide later. Then another area that I need to mention is what we call enhanced data analytics for informed decision making. And this area, you have the machine learning there. Another important area of interest regarding big data is machine learning and artificial intelligence. In fact, with AI now, I'm happy, I'm not going to repeat most of what Prof said earlier. We have to be in the same track, be on the same page, otherwise we will be left behind. And I don't want my people in FUTA to be left behind. So all of us, from the Vice Chancellor to even the clerk, we have to be tech compliant. So I want a situation where tomorrow we'll say, oh, the Vice Chancellor is a tech Vice Chancellor lady. The professors, the registrars are tech, and that is the way to go all over the world. So as far as data analytics is concerned, this is another interesting and fascinating area that we need to really pay a lot of emphasis on. When properly harnessed, digital tools will provide higher education institutions with the capability to collect, to analyze, and interpret vast amounts of data in areas such as tracking student performance, evaluating faculty engagement, and optimizing resource allocation. The resources we have in our university are limited, and we should be able to use our tech, our IT, to be able to allocate optimally the limited resources and get value for money. The data-driven decision-making is essential for effective administration and other purposes. So in the area of data analytics, people in the registry, people in the bursary, people in all the various departments should be able to use tech to drive those initiatives and get the appropriate delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, the other area I want to quickly discuss is what we call the student-centric approaches. And these approaches cut across the area I highlighted here. You have the approach recognizes that students have unique learning style, background, and aspirations, and aim to tailor educational experience to meet their specific requirements. These students, some of them are, well, when we go to the IQ level, some they are not on the same page. So they should be able to use these various tools to be able to do the learning and even the teaching. Learning should be able to, we should be able to use the tech to carry out that function. Another area I would like to highlight is what we call a student-centric approach, as the learner recognize change their uniqueness and provide an educational experience that is flexible, engaging, and supportive. It is aimed to provide students not just academically, but also socially and emotionally for success in the rapidly changing world. The other area I need to mention is to optimize the use of digital tools for performance measurement, ongoing training, and professional development for faculty members are paramount. I think the training, we need to, from time to time, have what we call a seminar, workshop, periodic interaction, and this is very key. Not limited to FUTA, but staff of other institutions where people share experiences and ideas. We should not keep our idea or our books or whatever in our drawer. We should be able to interact and from time to time have various seminar, workshop to share experiences, and this is the way to gain from one another. The other area I want to mention, as we embrace digital transformation, safeguarding sensitive information becomes a top priority. We have said that, oh, IT, but some of this information are very key. So if we don't keep this our information very well, some people, they are what we call the cyber security experts. And these guys are also there to attack your system, to attack your organization payment system, or whatever you want to call it. So there is also need to also guide against the information we have at our disposal. And this is very key. So higher education institutions must prioritize what we call robust cybersecurity measures and adhere to stringent data privacy policy to protect the integrity of student record, research data. And it's not all the information that you divulge to the public, but if there are research findings, there are research outcomes, discovery, novel that people, other stakeholders should benefit from, we can share that. But there are some information that are meant for probably the registry, some information for the bursary, some information without the authorization of the vice chancellor. You cannot just divulge it. So the confidentiality of some of these information are very, very key. And with your IT, you'll be able to keep a record of all these student record of some important information in the university. The other example I want to quickly mention is what we call a few examples of things that could be employed in higher institutions are what we call the LMS. Prof mentioned this one earlier. Learning management system. Universities and colleges utilize what we call learning management system to manage online and blended learning programs. I see no reason in our university where people that are probably working in industry do not be able to do what we call online or what they call parallel program. I remember as far back as 2001, I was in the University of Nairobi for my sabbatical leave. And the people working in the industry will come to the university around 5 to maybe 10 and be able to do the same program the undergraduates are as well as what the postgraduate, the full-time students are doing. So with this online facility, we should be able to explore the possibility and the blended learning program. People, all of you are in, some of these participants are in Akure now, and we are sharing experiences, we are delivering lectures, and these are the way to go. During where I don't want to encourage it, but it's a strategy that I also know they adopt in developed countries. In US recently, because of the crisis in the Palestine and some students are demonstrating against the Israeli invasion. And what the lecturers adopted is that the students, you should stay in your rooms. We are going to have lecture as usual time. And these lectures, they conduct lectures, they do online assessment, etc., etc. Some can even be open book, and these are ways of learning from. So we should not limit it to this idea of chalkboard or whatever, and not be able to do our lecture. So the online and the blended learning, these are very important tools that we should also employ. This system facilitates what we call content delivery. Students are equally going to engage actively in the discussion, and we equally carry out the assessment and communication between instructors and students. Most of our seminars that we do all over the world now, I stay in Accra, or I can say last week I was in somewhere in maybe Cape Town, and we will have a facilitator from Hong Kong that deliver lecture, and all the people globally benefited from that initiative. So our university should, I want to say, let's think out of the box and adopt more strategy of carrying out some of these roles. Then the other area I will quickly mention is what we call the data analytic tools. Data analytic tools help educational institutions analyze student performance, identify trends, track attendance, and make data-driven decisions to enhance teaching and learning outcomes. Some years ago, when I was in FUTA, the vice chancellor then called me that we need to carry out what we call employer assessment of FUTA graduates' performance in the field. We are training these students. When they go to the field, let's know where they are deficient. Are they up to date in IT? Are they up to date in engineering tech? Are they up to date in entrepreneurship? Are they up to date in data collection? Are they up to date in data analysis? Are they up to date in coding? Because people, you can stay in Kurena and make up to £5,000 a month if you are well trained in coding. And these jobs are all over the world. So we should be able to, lecturers, administrators, and our students should be able to use this platform to see what we can benefit from these tools. Another area that I want to mention is what we call the virtual reliability, which is a lab that enables massive and interactive learning experience. They allow students to explore complex concepts in science, history, and other subjects by providing new dimensions to education. And the other area I want to mention, because of our time, collaboration is very key. I want to encourage the university lecturers that are listening, the vice chancellor, the administrators, that we should collaborate among ourselves. We should collaborate with the external donor. We should collaborate. There are a lot of grants all over the world that are waiting. So if you don't come out, write a proposal, a very fascinating proposal, and tell them there are gaps here, and you want to fill this gap. And I know technicality, the experiences are there in that. So we should not sit down at our leisure time. Let's put 2 or 3 people together to be able to come out with a proposal. If you submit a proposal today, if it doesn't fly, the one you submit next week may likely fly. And this is the way to go. So, Honorable Vice Chancellor and Mr. Registrar, I use one of the tools, which is called ChatGPT, GPT that Prof mentioned earlier, to carry out a demo for us. And I say example of that tool that can be employed in higher institutions. I just want to write a letter of appreciation to the Registrar of Teachers for inviting him to give a keynote address. And I log into my chat GPT and I type this one straight. And the answer I get is this. The answer, you can see this answer, I say, the Registrar, Federal University of Tech. They even put the PO box, everything there registered. I did not edit this letter at all because this is just a demo. I hope this letter finds you well, Mr. Registrar. I'm adding that one. I'm writing to express my heartfelt appreciation for the honor. You can see the honor there, using the American honor. But since we are British, so if you have a specimen like this, you should be able to add value to the outcome of your digital tool, or being invited to deliver a keynote address on a specific event or workshop at the Federal University of Tech. It was truly a privilege. So what we are saying here is that this is just an example, and there are thousands of one, as Prof rightly mentioned, tools that are available that you can use. What you need to do is that at times, even if your staff write they give you a draft, you can put that draft into your tool and say, correct this information. I can say correct a letter from the beginning quote and at the end quote, and I just click, and I have my result. So the result I get, so that you don't rely entirely on that output from the computer, you can now add value where necessary. Some area you don't need to add value, so I don't have to sit down and waste a lot of time, man-hour, doing writing 2 or 3 pages letter. If I can just, the system can give me a draft. I'm not saying you should take this draft, like I can think. I'm saying this is just a draft for you that you can work on. So we need to also encourage training, Mr. Vice Chancellor. This is very key. Some of these tools are online, and some of your staff are very versatile in this area. So it could be weekend training, it could be probably evening training, 2 hours, 1 hour a day. People will benefit. So I'm encouraging the university authorities, the Vice Chancellor and the Registrar, that these are things you can introduce to some of your staff that are probably interested, and I'm sure, as far as parents and the staff are concerned, so many of them will be interested in some of these tools. Because of our time, let's quickly look at measuring productivity in higher institutions. Measuring productivity in higher educational institutions is just not just one way. There are so many ways of measuring productivity. This can be done by looking at the output from the faculty member, that's the lecturer, the infrastructures and the technology we have, we can look at it. And the students' success rate, this is another way. And through research output, we can also look at our productivity. And I want to encourage the Vice Chancellor to all the people that are listening, that there are a lot of grants waiting all over the world that are waiting for our people to put in their proposal. So these grants are waiting. If you don't write proposal, our colleagues in our other institutions will just be having this grant. And there are a lot of areas that I know will benefit our people. So grants and the number of grants you have will enhance your research publications, and you'll be able to come out with a novel, what we call cutting edge discovery. So quickly, Mr. Vice Chancellor, I want to quickly highlight some of the challenges, and I'm sure Prof highlighted some of these challenges. The first challenge I want to mention, which all of us are aware, is the budget constraint. When you submit your budget to the authority or to the Minister of Finance or National University Commission, I'm not sure where you submit that budget. What you get may not be what you really plan for, but the little you get, you should be able to optimally utilize these resources and have value for money, have the delivery. The other area that I know our people are not exploring is let us write research proposal. I see no reason, I don't want to mention some department now, where we cannot say we want to organize 1 week or 2 weeks lecture for experts in West Africa, some people that have skill gap in some area, and bring them to FUTA. They are the ones to sponsor their. Your own is to do your lecture material, and you can get some of the facilitators from within and some from outside the university that will be able to deliver this lecture. And I know the people that will come for that kind of team may not be free for FUTA. So FUTA will be able to also generate fund there. Then in terms of infrastructure and technology efficiency, this is obvious. I know that the infrastructure you have are not sufficient. So the Registrar and the Honorable Vice Chancellor, I want to encourage you that there are a lot of industry in Nigeria that may help you. They may help you. So if you approach one today and they don't work, you have to approach another institution or another firm tomorrow and give justifications. I have seen some places where they build mighty buildings for universities by writing letter, by approaching them, by meeting them, and this can be done. So another area I want to quickly mention is the adaptation of technological advancement. This is through innovation. Adapting to rapid technological advancement is a challenge for educational institutions in Nigeria, because some area people are not well trained. So I see no reason people in admin, you should be able to use some of these tools. The tools are readily available. So if they are not, if people cannot use it, the Mr. Registrar, you and the Vice Chancellor should put heads together and see how we can bring facilitators who can probably deliver online tools, online lectures for these our people to benefit from. There are a lot of tools now. Recently, this Remarkable, people use Remarkable now. So you write your lecture note, and from it, I convert it to Word, and I send it to my students. Within a twinkling of an eye, there are so many tools that are available. To write to some of these institutions, let them give you, if they cannot give you some computers or laptop, they should be able to give you maybe iPad that the principal officer may need for their job. Then the key performance indicator that I have to mention before I conclude, Honorable Vice Chancellor, is in terms of research output. This is very key. And from time to time, I know you use this one in promotion to see the output of the lecturer, the output of the non-teaching staff. Then in terms of the employability of the graduate, from time to time, let's carry out what we call employer assessment for FUTA graduates. It could be limited to Abuja, it could be limited to outside Nigeria. We need to know where these guys they are deficient, and now deploy resources to that area. Then in terms of student engagement too, and retention, this is very key. And because of my time, Mr. Vice Chancellor, I want to quickly conclude this presentation that digitalization is key, strategies we adopt is key, collaboration is key, optimization is key, and the ecosystem where we operate is key. If I can have about 2 minutes more, I would like to expatiate on this slide. Technology continues to, as technology continues to revolutionize the landscape of higher education institutions. It is imperative for Nigerian institutions to embrace digital tools for performance measurement. So our staff, as I've said, we should not cover our laptop or our desktop with a lab code. I remember when we first joined, I joined FUTA as an assistant lecturer there. Our lab, they used to cover the lab, the system we have with lab code. So if you don't allow students or lecturers to make use of this tool, when will they be able to use them? I think this is the time. And I started my lecture by saying the Vice Chancellor has to be a tech lady, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, all the professors, the lecturer have to be tech staff, and the non-academic, the admin staff from the registrar downward will also be tech staff. So in terms of the strategy we also use, this is very clear. It is time to integrate what we call technology solutions to enhance productivity and efficiency. Without technology, our output, we won't get the optimum, we won't get the desired, we won't get the new discovery. It's the technology that will help us to come up with a very fascinating solution. And collaboration, as Prof. rightly mentioned, this is very key. Let's collaborate within the university. One university should collaborate with another university. Nigeria FUTA should collaborate with Prof in America. They should collaborate with people in Asia. They should collaborate with people in Europe. And this is the way to go. Then optimization, I must say, by taking proactive steps to optimize digital tools, Nigerian higher institutions can enhance the quality of education, streamline administrative processes, and enable data-driven decisions by able to use this optimally. And the ecosystem in which we operate is also very key. There's need to proper collaboration, integration, use modern tools. Let's not be left behind. So having said that, Mr. Vice Chancellor and the Honorable Registrar, I want to say once again, thank you, and I thank the entire staff of FUTA for giving one of your former colleagues the opportunity to make this presentation. Thank you very much.
Can we sustain the applause for our two keynote persons who have done justice to the topic? I'm sure we're all the better for it, and then we'll continue. We have a couple of announcements before we round up this session. First, let me say that there will be 3 breakout sessions, and I'm going to mention the persons and where they are going to go. For all administrative officers, advancement officers, guidance and counselor protocol officers, media persons working in the university system, you are going to stay here for your breakout session. For confidential secretaries, secretarial assistants, computer operators, you will proceed. You will be guided. I like all the protocol persons to please come forward. You will be proceeding to the Albert Ilemobade Library. For the executive officers, clerical officers, and others in that category, you will make your way to the School of Postgraduate Studies hall, where preparations have been made for you to interface with the resource persons. After now, the principal officers, led by the Vice Chancellor, and the invited guests, will proceed for a group photograph in front of this auditorium. From there, they will make their way to this side of the divide, for a cocktail. All participants should give them the honor of remaining seated after their departure. Thereafter, the participants will proceed to the foyer of the auditorium for the tea break. At exactly 50 minutes after 11, we will all assemble here, where we will then be taken to our various breakout sessions. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my Lord spiritual and temporal, leaders of our academic community, dear participants, my colleagues, I'd like to respectfully invite us to stand for the futa as well as the national anthem as we bring this session to a close.
Ever winning, never leaving, never peaceful. Advancing and constant technology. And vocation landmark. For national progress. Academic excellence is a tradition. Technology for self-reliance. Self-reliance, yes. Promoting of unity, of courtesy, championing and constant technology. The shining example. The pride of Nigeria. With the blessings on our side, we shall go places.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my colleagues will now take the principal officers as they take a group photograph with all the registrars here present. Thereafter, you will lead them to the cocktail stand. Can we